If you're not willing to fail, you should not be an entrepreneur. It's a rite of passage. It's simply a part of
All right, we're live.
We're live. Happy podcast day, people.
Fourth episode today. All right, and we have ourselves a special guest. Don't we, Lee?
Yes, we do. Yes,
Please
we
welcome Mr. Rory Commode.
How's it going, y'all?
He is a businessman. He is a thinker.
I'd like to think so.
But moreover, he is a genuine, humble, kind, fun individual, and he's somebody we've been so fortunate to call a friend all these years. So thank you so much, Rory, for
Yes,
joining us on the
thank you for
podcast today.
That's a big act to follow.
But we'll go ahead and jump in. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got interested in what you do now, and maybe what growing up looked like a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Boy, a lot to tell, but I'll try to shorten it the best I can. I grew up on West Wichita and had some very good, loving, involved parents, which are still with us today. I got two twin sisters that are 7.5 years younger than myself. At the ripe young age of 40,
Hey.
who these boys here went to Costa Rica with me to celebrate that
Yeah.
over-the-hill birthday, which was a good time. Grew up with two sets of parents, my real parents and then my high school sweethearts. Her parents were, it was almost like the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I had my business parents and then my real parents, and they installed a love for open-minded thinking and new ideas, but you can do anything if you put your mind to it, personal growth and development, stuff like that. It's time at Wichita State, me and two other guys in the Phi Delta Theta fraternity, that big brick house across from 21st Street. My buddies Arm and Tahir, we started a company after winning the business plan competition in 2007, and that's the first big venture. Took us 18 months of full-time, no pay, mowing lawns, washing dishes, robbing Peter to pay Paul, robbing all the apostles to pay the rest of them. I don't even know, man. But like, we somehow survived. We somehow raised money. We got some investors on board. We somehow made sales, and we got the company going. And that really developed a love for entrepreneurship to me.
That's incredible. What were some of those things that really kept you guys going during the times that you did not get paid and you were just hustling your way through? What are some of those things that kept you guys going?
Credit cards were a big one. I had to rack up a lot of credit card debt to keep going, so that was cool. Eventually got that paid off, but no, really it was a dream. And even though the Bible says without a vision, the people perish. So we were really driven by what could be, and we saw some technology that instead of a guy with a dipstick putting it in a tank going, oh, look, it's 10 foot 6 inches. I teamed up with some really smart guys who figured out how a way to put sensors in tanks and give it to your cell phone or your laptop, and we called it PetroPower. And it started to change the way back in 2007 to 2010, the way oil producers operated their tanks through remote oil monitoring versus the old school way of a dipstick in a tank. So just to change the world was pretty motivational back then.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I couldn't even think about where to start to even create something like that. What gets you interested in starting something like that in the first place?
I dreamed of going to grad school right away, and because of my friend Tahir's strong vision and his desire to make this work, well, I decided to put grad school on hold, and Mom and Dad were not very happy with me after that. And
Yep, understandable.
Mom, forget all that. I'm going to go be an entrepreneur and be broke for lots of months and start something that nobody really believes in yet. Yeah, it didn't go very well for a while, but we're still excited about the possibility of maybe, just maybe, changing the way things are done in a positive way.
Transitioning from what you did when you started your company with your buddies, what other things have you done along the way, or what are you doing right now?
It's been a long journey. In 22 years of being an entrepreneur, I've probably been involved in 10 to 12 ventures. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't worked. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
You got to strike out a couple of times to hit a homer once in a while, you know? I've done everything from direct sales or network marketing, which myself and Dylan here had some really great mentors.
Absolutely.
Taught us a lot about customer service, soft skills, how to communicate better, how to listen better, how to execute what you want. And this knowledge, regardless of the money we made in direct sales, which we made some money, but we didn't make a killing by any means, but paid off in every other venture I've ever been in. Everything from the restoration industry, recruiting, insurance, the freight business where I am now at King of Freight, really anything with people, this knowledge really applied and paid off. And I could not be more grateful for the people who poured into me at a young age and pretty much were responsible for making me who I am.
So you said King of Freight right now, right? Is what you're doing. What does that take? What does that take to do?
It takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of drive. It takes being okay with getting told no 80 to 100 times a day. You got to be okay with doing the work up front to maybe get paid later, and hopefully you do, right? So it takes a lot of vision to get it going, which I'm really grateful for our founder, Mike Rickliffs, and the other pioneers who got it going in 2008, right out of college. And because of that, they paved way for 300 brokers. And a broker is someone who pretty much has a company that needs a truck, has a truck, and we're the guy that we're the middleman, we're the matchmaker, and we put the two together. That's what awesome. We do. So
nice. That's very cool. So I'm sure in a lot of different things, whether it was King of Freight, whether it was building your company with your buddies, you also do insurance. Is that correct?
Yeah. I was a vendor for a lot of insurance agents for about 3.5, 4 years with a company called Service Master. These guys take care of water, fire, mold restoration. So when bad stuff happens to your home, that's where we came in, right? And so along the way, I met pretty much every insurance agent in town. I fell in love with their business. And when one of my partners was deciding to start over and be an independent agent, he offered me a partnership in his company. I trusted the guy wholeheartedly, still in business with him today. There was 2 of us, really 3 of us, and now we've got 6 to 7 of us 6 years later. I've got a great team, so it gives me the ability to have my hand in lots of things while doing that as well. So without a great team around you, you can't do much.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, Rory's done a lot of different stuff. Yeah. I feel like you've failed your way through some parts and you've learned from them. I know a lot of people want to go through entrepreneurship, especially, or a lot of different businesses, whatever they do, without failing, with trying to do things perfect the first time. What has failure really done for you, like throughout all these different ventures? How has failure assisted in that?
It's a really good question. If you're not willing to fail, you should not be an entrepreneur. Like, it's a rite of passage. It's simply a part of the process. Dylan and I's mentors said many times over, fall in love with the process. Boy, most days did not love the process. Not happy about the process. But they were right. You have to fall in love with the process, because without the journey, there's no reward. Without the journey, there's no destination, right? Without persistence and without the ability to just get back up after failing and still believe in yourself when nobody else does, that's tough, because there's a lot of nights where you're going to lay in bed and you're going to question your sanity. You're going to question, why am I doing this? You're going to listen to other voices that are what we call noise, telling you can't do it, you're not good enough, your idea is stupid, and you choose whether you listen to them. One of Dylan and I's mentors said, at the end of the day, one of us is going to be right, and I'm way too stubborn to let it be you. And I liked that, so I latched onto that, and I said, I'm going to try to be that stubborn guy who actually gets somewhere. Well, I got somewhere at least.
Absolutely. So a couple episodes ago, we talked about our trip to Costa Rica, and that was a blast.
Man, that was a good time.
One thing I know you love to do a lot is travel.
That is not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say drink. Not even going to lie. I thought you were going to say, I know you like to drink, but...
Oh, man.
Only on the weekends when I don't work the next day.
That's right. He's responsible.
Yeah.
Every trip is a precious memory because of the people I'm with, the experiences we go through together. And that's tough. But Costa Rica was definitely top 5, if not top 3. One of my most favorite trips probably was senior year at Wichita State, where 30, 40 Greeks roll in, the sorority gals and the fraternity guys, roll into South Padre with $300 to $400 each to our name for 7 days, and we somehow made it work.
There you go.
And we drove 16 hours to get there with hardly any money, and it was awesome.
$500 for a week is crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
Back
is
then,
crazy.
it actually could work, but
No,
not anymore.
Oh, okay. That's
We saw
probably-
Cascada for $5. We saw Yin Yang Twins.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh,
that's
man.
dope.
That's
That's pretty
insane.
It
cool.
was awesome.
Oh man, it was like spring break or something.
It was spring break.
Oh,
Oh,
man, it
there
was
it
the-
is.
Yeah, it
Pop
was
it.
spring break.
Popping.
It was that was one of my favorites, just because last minute. Thank God for the people who sold me, because I was really dedicated to school and that was my senior year. I don't have time to go do this. I got to graduate. And they go, man, you can come with us for a week. And they sold me to get in the car with them, drive 16 hours and go. I'm so glad they did. One of the trips I cherish the most.
We took a trip to Padre with just the family. And it wasn't during spring break or anything like that. It was a different vibe because you don't have all the college kids there. You don't have anybody there, but you have the whole beach to yourself sort of thing. And we're like, oh, this is not what we thought it was going to be because it wasn't during
because
spring
we've
break.
always heard Padre being built up to this massive
we're like,
party for
where's
everybody.
The party at, you know?
And it was funny too, because one of my favorite memories of that trip was Tahir and I having travel surveys. This was in 2006, 2007, going up to random people, interviewing them about travel, getting their contact info, and then setting a time to show them our travel deal later. Random people on the beach. That's what we were doing.
Dang, okay. You guys are hustling out there too.
Man.
I like it, Rory.
It was a good time.
That's awesome. You lived a lot of life. 40. What would you say? I'm
Why you calling him old? Why you calling him old, bro?
No, I'm not calling him old. Rory, I don't think Rory can get old. I think Rory is always going to stay young.
I'm going to try as
It's
long as I
that
can.
baby face.
I know,
I'm
I
telling
know
you,
it
bro. He
is.
got the beard, but it's the baby
I
face.
Oh man, what would you say some of your biggest life lessons are that you've learned? I know you've talked about some of them. What would you say like the biggest ones that stand out to you, that is your motto, you use it like to this day,
good.
and you're constantly like you're pushing it? That's what you're telling people.
Yeah, no, that's a tough question too, because there's just a lot of different ones. But I would say one thing that has served me really well, just going on faith, which most of my career has been on faith. It's who I am. I'm a person of faith as well, so it makes sense. But just don't be afraid to try. Like, they've done surveys where they have interviewed people that are within a few years of passing, and a lot of the questions they asked these people were, what are your regrets? And the number one thing that pops up is, I wish I would have tried to do XYZ. I wish I would have been proactive at this or tried this. I was too scared to do this. I made excuses about this. So whatever it is, if you've got a chance, there's a country song, if you got a chance, take it. And it's a great motto, man. Just go, carpe diem, go with the opportunity. You might not get another one, whatever it is. So just take advantage of what you got in front of you is probably something that has given me so many experiences. 2-3 months ago, before I invited these guys to Costa Rica, there was voices in my head that said, oh, it's probably too expensive, you can't do it, or oh, you probably shouldn't. I said, forget that.
Yeah.
We're going to Costa Rica.
Exactly.
And we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'll always remember that trip, no
Yeah.
matter what.
It's crazy because we were going back and forth. We're like, dude, should we actually do this? I know if we have a free weekend, we'll do it. Money's gonna be a little bit tight,
But
if
you made it happen.
But we made it happen,
Yeah.
and don't regret any of that. And the thing is, when you put yourself in situations like that, and things that you don't want to do, and you do it anyway, and you're like, it opens so many more doors for you. So like for us going on that trip, yeah, it was a trip, a lot of money, but it's like for me, the mentality is I want to go do more. I want to make enough money now, do whatever I have to do now, so I can go on more trips.
No, absolutely. And my other thing I would say is, and this should have been number one, so I apologize this wasn't number one, but being a person of faith, I call it God, I call it Jesus. That's who I worship. That's who I'm proud to follow. But put your trust in a higher power, bare minimum, because when you give all your problems to a higher power, it's amazing how much less stress you have on your heart and your soul. I would recommend, if you're not a person of prayer, just try it. Start with meditation.
Yeah.
And then maybe move to prayer, maybe move to the belief in God, Jesus, a higher power, something. I just think you'll overall function at a higher level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, no. There's so many things that we've seen. We talked about on the episode how we were going from the boat to the island,
Yeah.
and Liam
Oh yeah.
over here decided to
We don't need to bring this up
Drink some
every
water.
episode, okay? Not every episode do we need to talk about
He
this.
almost died.
But for real, that was
It
crazy.
was scary. It was very scary for me.
And I really think like there was somebody watching over you.
If
His
it
name was
wasn't-
Jordan Steinbach.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jordan being that close to me, I would have been gone. They would have got to me, but it would have been by then probably too late.
No, absolutely.
So if Jordan wasn't that person in the water over there, I don't know.
And let me tell you, George, being my brother-in-law, he's a huge person of faith. And
Absolutely.
somebody was looking out for us. That
Man,
Yeah,
really was.
really was.
definitely.
It's a tough one.
Thank you. Is there anything else you want to share at the moment?
I would say, last but not least, if people are in your life and they're excelling at a level that you want to be, no matter what it is, gardening, bowling, any kind of sport, I don't care, business, doesn't matter. Take advice from people who you want to be like in that area.
Absolutely.
Because if somebody is broke, don't take financial advice from them. If somebody's been divorced 3 times, you might not want to take relationship advice from them. Just be very choosy who you listen to, but when you zone in on who to listen to, the right person, really try to execute what they say. Because if you do what they say, you might get what they've got.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
we're gonna end the podcast with 3 questions. You already answered a couple of them, but we asked this to every guest. So the first question for you is, what is the best advice you've either heard, seen, you got given? Or what is the best advice for life, business, whatever?
Best advice. I would say focus on your strengths. Find the gifts that God or a higher power has given you and really do your best to have those gifts serve other people, whatever they are.
That's awesome.
Man,
That is really good.
yeah, natural.
I know.
Based on the knowledge that you know today and all the experiences that you've gained, what would you tell your younger self?
My first thought is how much time you got, because I'd sit my younger self down.
You listen here, boy.
Yeah, pretty much. Man, probably value every single relationship that matters to you. If other people care about you too, value that relationship, because there's relationships right now we are overlooking in our lives. We are taking for granted. We are not paying attention to the people we should pay attention to, right? We're paying attention to people who don't deserve our time versus people who do. So I've made mistakes growing up, and I get so focused on my goals and dreams. There is relationships that I mistreated or did not handle with care, and I wish I could go back and undo it and slow down the vision and the goals and pay attention and nurture those relationships, because those relationships mattered more than the mission. I didn't know that at the time, but I do now.
Life is very short, and you want to spend time with all your family, all your friends, people that care about you, look after you, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know when they're going to leave or anything like that. So, you know, yeah, it's cool and all chasing a dream and everything like that, but you can't forget what's truly important, which is actually family and like
Yeah.
the people that care about you.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, that's who got you.
If you've got somebody in your life that matters, man, hold on to them, pay attention to them, do everything you can to make them feel special like they are, because there's a lot of other people that probably want them if you screw it up.
Yeah,
So true.
absolutely.
So
No.
true.
And you got somebody incredible, man.
Yeah,
man.
man.
You got Diane. No, we love Diane. No, we love Diane. She's
That's
always
She's
she's got
awesome.
so much energy, and
She's
her and
awesome.
Rory are just amazing people.
Yeah.
We've got a chance to hang out with them multiple times, with his birthday parties, whether it's trips, and they're just incredible people.
Yeah.
Like they're just fun people to be around. So
Genuine, honest.
yeah,
You know,
The thing I love about Diane is she says it how it is. No shit.
it's
No
the most
filter.
off the wall shit ever. Like I swear.
But it is so genuine,
Yeah.
and we love it. We love you guys. You guys are amazing.
We are who we are, whether you like it or not, and take us or leave us. That's
Love
our
it.
attitude,
I
you
love
know?
it.
Exactly.
So we got our very last question, and I'm gonna let Liam
So,
ask you this.
so we asked this to every guest, and based on your platform currently, what is something that you can do every day to make the world a better place?
And there's a lot we can all do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But one thing that I purposely try to do is be a little light in a dark room. I'm in a business that multiple businesses that there is a lot of discouragement, and there's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of There's some sharks out there too. In business there is, and you got to protect yourself. And I try to be the guy that is aware of what people are going through, and in the right moment, give them the encouragement they need to take one more step. And I try to do that every day with somebody.
What are some of the impacts that you're seeing from doing that? Because I know, and I've heard you say that you definitely do this, and I'm absolutely sure you do this with you and your team. Have you seen people's lives be directly impacted from what you're doing?
So I would like to say yes, okay, but I feel weird giving myself any type of kudos, because all I am is I'm playing a part in God's role, what he wants me to do.
Absolutely.
And so really he gets the glory, I'm just here. Okay, I just want to make that clear. But in answer to your question, yes, here's an example. I saw one of my buddies over there by his desk, great guy, has done a heck of a job with moving up the chain and doing the position I do. And I just saw him just zoning out at his desk. So I just decided I had a minute. I went up to him and I gave him some encouragement just to make 5 more phone calls. Not 10, not 7, not 6, 5. And he goes, I can do 5. And I said, before you go to the bathroom, just do 5 more calls. He came back 10 minutes later and said on the second call, he got somebody who seriously wants to do business with him with not just one sale or load, but multiple loads, and is going to start letting him do lots of quotes, which lead to sales. And he said, you pushed me. Thank you. I needed that.
Wow.
And I thought that was really cool.
That is.
A couple other examples are 2 individuals who I'm very close to. We share a love for the Bible, love for God, and I invited them to join our men's Bible study group, and they said they've gotten a lot out of it. They've gotten a lot out of the community. They've gotten a lot out of reading the Bible out loud and discussing it with other men who are interested. And they're grateful I invited them. And I just said, hey, I'm the bridge, which is what we all are. Here's God, here's people. Let's bridge the gap.
Yeah.
And that's all we're doing.
That's incredible, man. That's so cool. I'm telling you, in different people's lives, you've been very impactful. You've helped people a lot. And if you guys aren't following this guy, make sure you follow him because he's doing some big things.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything you'd like to leave our followers and listeners with?
So I'm grateful and blessed to even be considered to be here. I think the world of these 2 guys. They've got a lot of vision. They've got a lot of enthusiasm. They got a lot of drive. They actually compassionately care about people. And they're really good with technology, which I'm really not good with technology. So it's like, what I do is I team up with people smarter than me. That's why I'm teaming up with all these people. And I would stay tuned to whatever these guys have cooking, because I know I will. Every time these guys put their heads together, something pretty innovative comes of it. So stay tuned.
Man.
That's my advice.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
Rory.
so much,
We
bro.
appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast.
Appreciate you.
It's been incredible to have you and incredible to see you grow and prosper in whatever you're doing. Thank you for being a man of faith and being a light in this world of darkness sometimes. Thank you for doing that. But thank you for your time.
Yeah,
And
thank
we're
you.
going to actually link all of his info down below. So make sure you follow him, follow his journey. And until next time,
It's been your boy Lee.
and D, thanks so much. Take it easy. Catch us on the next podcast.
Nice, fellas. Very nice.
Probably